Welcome to True Crime and Wine Time. I'm Terry.
And I'm Lana.
Tonight, we are uncorking the truth behind one of the darkest crimes and breaking it down together with you.
One case, one conversation, and one or maybe two glasses of wine to take the edge off. It's time to get comfortable and double check those locks before we get started.
So let's take a sip and dive in.
Hello, happy Monday.
It is.
Happy Monday.
And I'm going to knock on wood, but I haven't had any technical issues yet.
I haven't either. And it's finally stopped raining and the sun is out. Which means
Nice.
it's going to be very gross when I step outside earlier for my evening plans, but it's not raining. It was raining all week, including this morning.
Send the rain here. We need it.
I'm over it. No, thank you. Well, happy Monday. Start of a new week here for us. Busy one at that. So what are
Can
we
you
doing?
believe we're in the middle of August?
I know. I have to go do school stuff tonight and this week, and I don't like it at all. It's like
Do you
the
realize it's
biggest
going to be
downside.
Christmas like in a blink of an eye?
I was thinking that yesterday when I was starting to work on the scheduling for the next few months, and I was like,
I know, like, where did it go? Where did it
no.
go? No, today we are back with Murdaugh. We on Friday watched something that I thought was going to be an hour.
No, it took us 7 hours to watch 3.5 hours.
It took us, yeah, but I have to say, because of them, I'm going to watch A View to Kill this week with Matthew McConaughey because he's Southern spicy like they are. And he
Oh,
plays an attorney. And I'm like, I'm here for it. I love the Southern vibe.
It was a fascinating hearing to watch.
It was.
We're going to see more long hearings just like that before the new trial starts in April. So I'm here for it. I am ready. It was nice. It was nice to kind of be back in a court setting, a live court setting, Um, and I'm really excited too to go back and kind of revisit the case because his first trial was 3 years ago.
I
Well, I
couldn't
have a
believe
good
it was
memory.
that long. I was
It's not that
like,
good.
wow. I thought it had only been like a year and a half.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time. And as I was putting together all the witness videos from the trial, I was like, oh my God, I forgot how many witnesses. There's
It is
so
a
many.
long list.
So I was like, oh, I think a lot of them are going to probably be cut the second time around, or oh, I hope so. Hi, Dean. Dean, Lady, Mary, Pam. Hello, Pam.
See, Llama is making new friends. See, Dean is her new bestie. I see Dean when I play Wordle since Lig has gotten me into Wordle. And I always see that,
Oh,
Dean
nice.
is in there playing too.
Nice. I know. Damn Buffy making new friends and stuff. I had power for 2 days, no power. And she's like, I made all the new friends. No, I'm just kidding.
See what happens?
So here's how we're going to do the Murdaugh coverage for a little while. So the next hearing is not until November. Now, they are going to end up filing lots of paperwork. It's going to happen. I don't know if anything's come out today. I don't think so. I forgot to check because I lay down for a little bit in between shows. But while we wait for new documents to drop and whatnot, we're going to revisit the past. And we're going to start off with the SLED timeline of events. This is what they're going to talk about in the trial. They pulled from several different reports. This was released by SLED during the trial. So we're going to be going over that today. We may finish it. We have a hard out at 4:30 today because of the school stuff I got to do later. And then we're going to look at some of the body cams from that night of June 7th, 2021. We'll watch some of Alex's interviews with cops and stuff. And then over the weeks, we plan on revisiting some testimony If there's any testimony you particularly want us to rewatch again, please let us know. Because, like I said, there's a lot of witnesses. We are not watching any financial crimes. I can't do it.
I I d
Yeah.
please don't do the
We're gonna
financial
have to
crime.
watch it during the trial, and that's just fine. All right, but we can't. Oh, I can't do it. So,
It better not be more than a day. I would prefer 4 to 6 hours.
I mean, it. Oh gosh, it went on for so long. I
I
don't
was like,
know,
it
probably
went
like 2 to
on and
3,
on.
maybe.
I was like,
Because you do
"What,
need,
several days?"
yeah. Because there are a lot of people regarding the financial crimes in this, but so if there's anything in particular you want us to rewatch from the first trial, don't you talk too much. For the last stream that we did, the 7-hour one, whew, it may turn into a dinner stream. Yeah, it was a good time though. It
It
was
was.
a good time, and Terry and I were drinking because it was Fukong Friday. You never know what happens on
Yeah,
Fukong.
not doing that again.
So today we're going to start with SLED's first kind of like press release after the murders took place. Again, the murders took place on June 7th, 2021. Now, they have not arrested anybody yet when they've released this because this is
June 15th.
June 15th. Now, Alec, he does eventually get arrested a couple months later. And we'll also go into the side of the road shooting. We'll talk about that too, not today, but we will get into that a little further. But that's kind of when they arrest him for financial crimes and stuff. He is not indicted for the murders for a whole nother year in, I want to say July 2022, summer of 2022. Um, I know some people aren't very clear on that of when
Right.
he was arrested for lots of things. But, when you do go to charge somebody, a clock starts ticking
Ticking.
because, if somebody doesn't waive their right to a speedy trial, you're looking at potentially a trial within 6 months, usually,
Mhm.
that the state has to present. So with something that you need longer time to figure out and collect evidence, then you can wait to charge somebody with murder. Now, because there is no statute of limitations on
On
murder,
murder.
unlike
Right.
other crimes. So that's why there is a big delay between the murders and him being indicted, even though he's already in custody for financial crimes business. So that is what we're going to start with today. Let me pull that up. And then, Terry, you're going to read it for
I
us.
am going
Yes?
to read it.
Okay, let's do it. Let me get a little
Yes,
bit
this
bigger.
is from SLED press release, June 15th, 2021. SLED update on status of ongoing Murdaugh double murder investigation. On June 7th, 2021, at 10:07 p.m., Alex Murdaugh called 911. During that call, Murdaugh indicated to the Colton County Dispatch Center that he had returned to family property located at 4147 Moselle Road in Islandton, South Carolina, to find the bodies of his wife, Margaret Maggie Murdaugh, and his son, Paul Murdaugh, shot outside of the residence on the property. Colton County Sheriff's deputies immediately responded to the location where it appeared that Paul and Maggie had both sustained multiple gunshot wounds.
Mm.
The sheriff's office secured the scene and contacted SLED at 10:28 p.m. to request SLED's assistance in conducting this double murder investigation. SLED Low Country regional agents were dispatched at that time and began arriving on scene at 11:47 p.m. SLED agents began working with the Colton County Sheriff's Office immediately to evaluate the crime scene and take the lead on this investigation. Not very well.
Yeah.
SLED crime scene agents began arriving on scene at 12:07 a.m. Crime scene personnel worked throughout the morning of June 8th to collect evidence and submitted it to SLED's forensic lab, which immediately began processing and testing the evidence. SLED agents have been working the case continuously since arriving on scene with the assistance of the Colton County Sheriff's Office deputies and others, and that work continues. We continue to pursue all leads, and the investigation is certainly active and ongoing at this time. We will continue to submit all forensic evidence to SLED's forensic lab. SLED is committed to conducting a professional and thorough criminal investigation to bring justice in the deaths of Paul and Maggie. SLED is further committed to transparency and will release any additional information, including additional information provided during the 911 call at the appropriate time. However, we cannot and we will not do anything that could jeopardize the integrity of this investigation or that would violate the due process afforded to all in our constitutional system of justice.
So your typical press release,
As like pretty standard.
pretty standard press release there. So, like I said, during the trial on February 17th, they released SLED's, this is all SLED's timeline of events, because the timeline is very important. I mean, timelines are always important in murders, but from the beginning to the end, this is what they're going to talk about nonstop during the trial is the entire events of that day. And a lot of things go on. So I thought we're going to end up going over this timeline so many times between now and trial and during trial. So it's a long one, but there's a bunch of different things going on kind of all at the same time, including uh, So at this time, right, Maggie is staying, they have a beach house, and that is where Maggie has been staying. And then Alec has been at the Moselle property. And then both the boys live out of the house, but do come home on occasion. But they have their own apartments and everything as well. So that's kind of where everybody is at the start of this morning. Um, and there's also financial stuff going on where they're going to confront, they being pimped, they call it the law firm, I believe, if I remember right, is when they're going to confront him about some missing money. And my memory, like I said, is a little rusty on the timeline here. So there's a lot of players in it. So, chat, if you can help us out when I'm not entirely sure, we'll know it by heart. I'll know it by heart by the time we get to trial. I'll be like, nope,
Yeah.
that's not when. So, let's go ahead and get into it. It's a very, very long and thorough timeline here. So let me do a switcheroo real quick with what I put in front of my face.
A switcheroo.
Switcheroo. There
I
we
love
go.
Pam. SLED makes me think of Santa. Me too.
It's hard to take seriously, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. I gotta make it smaller because it's
And I'm
on
gonna just say
this
the first
one.
text has me laughing.
I remember when they read this out loud in court, and I was just like, "What?
What? I know. It's
You're a
like, oh,
grown ass man, a Capri Sun." All right, and I got you guys over here on this side. Okay.
be
All
sure to
right.
hit that like button and
There
turn
you
on the
go.
notifications so you'll know when we are live.
That's right. I forgot I also made a banner to remind people to do all of those things. Also, subscribe to Couch Court with Llama, and that we're revisiting the murder case. So, all right. So, timeline starts June 7th, 2021, the day of the murders. And we're starting at 7 a.m. So, at 7:05 a.m., Maggie Murdaugh sends a text message to Blanca. Blanca is the housekeeper of Moselle. You're going to hear about her a lot. She testified in the last trial. She's written a book, and she'll probably be testifying in this new trial as well. We'll probably, I think she's on my list of rewatches because one I also enjoyed listening to Blanca. But that is who Blanca is. So Maggie sends her a text message. Will you stop by store and bring Alec Capri Suns? He likes orange and pineapple flavor plus mountain cooler. Thank you. I'll pay you back. Now, I remember when they read this, I was like, what? He's a grown. Have you ever had a Capri Sun as a grown adult?
No,
It is like 2 squeezes and that's it.
it
And you're like,
is.
oh, oh.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
no.
And also, why isn't Alec texting that? He's the one who's at that house at the time, but okay. I guess he couldn't do that.
Maybe he was already headed to the office or
Well, we'll see. So Blanca replies back that she will a couple minutes later. Maggie replies back with, thank you, get 2 boxes. Blanca replies with, okay, about an hour later of conversation. So then at 7:51 a.m., Alec receives a message from Chris Wilson, who I believe, if I remember right, Chris Wilson was basically like Alec's best friend. He was not, he also worked at PMP, I believe, but he was not part of the Murdaugh Crime Buddies Club.
hmm,
I don't think Chris Wilson was a part of that, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't. Um, but I think he worked at PMP. So anyway, it's just about the Gamecocks game or whatever is what he
oh,
sent him. I think that's baseball, right? Yes,
I,
baseball.
I don't know.
I don't know how they seriously have that team name. I'm
What are
not an adult enough.
Gamecocks? I mean,
I think they're roosters or
okay,
something. I think
okay,
I don't remember. Right. Yeah, Maggie was not at Moselle yet at this time. She
yeah.
was at the beach house.
Why didn't she just pick them up on her way home?
Well, I guess that's why you pay people to do that.
I
I don't
guess.
know. I don't have that lifestyle. I wish I did, but I don't. I guess DoorDash, I'm kind of close to it. I do get my groceries delivered. But anyway, so at 8 a.m., then Alec receives a phone call from Anna Marie Moore, and it goes to voicemail. I don't know who that is. And this does not show the Dylan Hightower extraction, who is, oh, I forget who Dylan works for. FBI, maybe? All I know is I saw his name and it reminded me. I was like, oh, are we in House of the Dragon? Maybe. Are you from Old Town? My memory is fuzzy too, girl. Don't worry. It's been a while. So then at 8:12 a.m., Alec receives a group message from Randy Murdaugh stating, quote, John, right now they plan to do both treatments in Bluffton at 3:45. I'm trying to find out when and if he will be seen by a pulmonologist. I will keep you posted. And that went out basically to like the whole family. And that's in regards to their dad being in
Yeah,
the hospital, right?
right.
I don't remember why he was in there though. Did he have cancer?
I
I think.
was that the mother or the dad? I think it was
No,
the
the
dad
mom's at
because
home.
yeah, but she was on hospice care, right?
No, I think memory care. I think.
Memory care. Okay.
I think. Again, we're all relearning together, so that's fine. Oh, Chris did not work at PMP. Okay, thank you. He had his own law firm in Bamberg. They were college buddies and work on cases together. Oh, that's right. Because Chris was, I think that was one of his crime buddies, of his crime buddy club, where he told for the Satterfield, right? He told the Satterfields, "Oh, sue me," and then he had his buddy do it, but that wasn't
Right.
Chris, right? I don't think
I
that
don't
was.
think so.
Mm. I think Anna is from the law office calling about money. Oh, where's my? Actually, I'm just going to pull up my spreadsheet. See, this is why spreadsheets are useful ish. Where are we at here? This is my spreadsheet tab. Murdaugh, what 2023? Because some of them say on their witness who they are. I don't see it. Oh, Annette. Annette Grit. Is that who it was? No, more.
Anna Marie Moore.
Yeah, I don't see them on the testifying list. So I don't know who that is. Anyway, so then at 8:27, Maggie Murdaugh sends a text to Blanca stating he says orange and apple. Why can't he just text her himself? Like,
And why
okay,
don't you just get a bottle of orange juice and a thing of apple juice instead of Capri Suns?
it's a little straw.
Yeah.
If y'all need another reason to score in South Carolina, gamecock is a rooster bred for fighting. Ah, well,
That's why I was shocked when I saw that it said gamecocks. I thought those were fighting roosters.
mm.
So I thought it was about a cockfight instead of a baseball game.
Chris trusted Alec enough to write the settlement check to Alec's name instead of
Oh,
the
that's
law
right.
firm.
He
I
said
get
if
all
you
those
just
people.
write it, yeah.
Don't worry, we'll have it all down pat by the time trial comes. So 9 a.m. Alec has an incoming call from Earl B. Rowe that goes to voicemail. Then 3 minutes later, he receives an incoming phone call from Earl B. Rowe again, and it goes to voicemail. He does not want to answer this phone call. I don't know who that is in the story off the top of my head, but lots of people are trying to get a hold of him this early in the morning. Do not call
Yeah.
me before I'm sending you to voicemail too. It's not happening.
I was like, say, do you even hear your phone ring?
No.
Okay.
Buffy.
I'm
For
like,
fuck's
why are
sake,
you
grown
grown
up
up?
drink Sunny D, Alex. Have you had the like strawberry orange Sunny D? It's delicious.
Mm-mm.
Mixed with vodka. Anyway. So then at 9:09, Paul Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Matt Luce, talks to that person for about 29 seconds. Then a minute later, he makes another outgoing phone call to a number. The number belongs to Nick Godley, but only lists his number on the call log, was not answered. At 9:11, Paul makes another outgoing phone call to um, Alec, and it's not answered. Then Paul gets an incoming phone call from Matthew Luce, and they talk for about 3 minutes. Then at 9:47, Alec receives an incoming call from Nick Godley. It goes to voicemail. 9:57, he gets another incoming call from Dimitri Mangio. I don't know, but also goes to voicemail. So he's answered no phone calls.
I was like, say, he's unavailable.
Mhm. Did we pause again? Oh no. Apparently, you can't talk to Alec before Capri Suns.
That's right.
Is that it's like don't talk to Lana until she's had her at least one cup of coffee.
That just made me think of that show, The Toy, and I could see like Alec there with his little Capri Suns going.
And he's a very big guy. He would just
I
look
know.
like
I'm like, what are you? Do you drink the whole box at a time?
I would think so. You'd have to. Like a whole box equals like a glass. So, oh, you just closed the app and it's better now? Okay, good. All right. So, why don't you do 10
10.
a.m.? Yeah.
Okay. So at 10:01 a.m., Paul Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from potential
Mm.
spam, and he answered it, and it was 7 seconds long. At 10:06, Maggie Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Palmetto Oral A, and it was answered, and it was 43 seconds long.
Okay,
Dentist, maybe?
probably. I think
Then
she
it
had an appointment too that day.
43
I was
seconds
going,
is quick.
yeah.
Now, 10:06, Paul Murdaugh receives an incoming call from PA, Alex Murdaugh. Answered, and it was a minute and 12 seconds. So from Paul, I guess
So
is what that
Alec
is.
calls him
Calls
finally
him
at
and
10
he
o'clock. Somebody talks to him. Okay.
then at 10:07, Maggie Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Proctor Mary Ann. Answered, and they talk for 4 minutes and 43 seconds.
My goodness, what a busy day.
I know these people are busy early in the morning.
Mhm.
Then at 10:10, Maggie Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from 423-528-2194. Not answered, 0 seconds. So they didn't even leave a voicemail.
Oh,
Then at 10:17, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Mary Ann. And she answered, and it was 26 minutes and 34 seconds. That's a good phone call.
dang.
Then at 10:25, Paul Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Richard Neese, and it was 4 seconds long. Guys, these are some fast phone calls.
I don't even how many words can you put in 4 seconds?
I don't know. I'm like, that's fast. So 10:29, Paul Murdaugh sends a text message to 803-842-7845 stating, "We do not have an updated lease." Could
Okay.
be about hunting, like a hunting lease or something. I
He
don't
does
know.
have an apartment
Could
too,
be his
so it could be
apartment.
that. I don't remember.
Then at 10:32, Paul Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to 803-546-0162. That one was only 41 seconds long.
Hmm.
These are fast calls. Then at 10:37, Alex Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Anne Maria Moore, voicemail or mobile forwarding, but 0 seconds. He doesn't want to talk to these people.
No, he does not.
Then
So far,
at
he's
10,
only talked to Paul,
yeah,
and somehow he's talked to Maggie,
I see somehow he's talked to Maggie.
but they haven't
Said
said
that.
anything about telling Maggie he needs Capri Suns, which I think is kind of weird. Maybe he sent it like the night before or something.
But
I
then
don't
he
know.
changed it to Apple and something, so he must have
Yeah.
talked to her.
So where are those messages or phone
I
calls
don't
at?
know. I don't know. So then at 10:46, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Barbara. It was not answered. Then immediately after that, at 10:46, Maddie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to mother-in-law, and it was answered, and it was 14 seconds long.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, still in the 10:46 time frame, Mata makes an outgoing phone call again to mother-in-law. This time
Oh,
for
wait.
10 seconds.
Is it doing this for everybody else by chance? The YouTube being weird? It was fine this morning. You jinxed us, Terry. Well, if so, we appreciate you anyway,
Yes.
even if you're replay crew.
Yes. Then at 10:47, Paul Murdaugh sends an iMessage to Willis stating hurt along with capitalize that H.
What does that
Okay.
mean?
I- He wants hurt to be very,
You guys are all good. Okay.
he's wanting to capitalize the H. I don't know. So
Interesting.
then at 10:48, Paul Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to John Marvin. It was answered, and it too was 40 seconds long.
That would be one of Alex's brothers, Paul's uncle.
Uncle. Then
Hmm.
at 10:48, Alex Murdaugh received an incoming call from Jamie Harrelson, and it was probably a voicemail or something, and it was 18 seconds long. Then 10:48, Alec Murdaugh sends an iMessage to Jamie Harrelson stating, "Hey brother, call you in a few. Can't answer."
Hmm.
Did y'all get married and I didn't hear about this?
No, uh, 'cause we're horrible people, that when Alex, 911 call got released, the way he says, "My wife,"
Oh,
and
y'all.
so so that's just what Elbow Feet says all of the time, like, it's been years of, "My wife," um,
Okay.
so that's him. He
Okay.
says it quite a few times a week for
Okay.
years
Well,
now.
that is very sweet.
I don't know, it's about finding his dead wife. I don't know if it's
I
sweet or
know,
not.
but it's kind of y'all do it kind of funny. But
My wife.
10:52, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Alex. He didn't answer. 10:55, Paul Murdaugh receives an
Nope.
iMessage from Willis stating, "Yep." Then again at 10:55, Paul Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Will Loving. Call was answered. It was about 13 minutes and 46 seconds.
Sorry, I had to let the dogs out.
You're at Les Wexner's house. Get out of there.
What?
Please get out of there. Or at the compound, get out of there. Make sure you're safe.
Oh,
Please. Please make sure you're safe.
that's where he
Sure.
is for work today?
That's
Oh
what
my
he says
goodness.
in chat. So, do you want me to keep going with 11?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 11:07, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Barbara. It was answered, 20-second long conversation. These got to be voicemails just saying, call me, right?
Pff, I
20 seconds
I don't
long.
know.
Then at 11:07, Maggie Murdaugh makes another outgoing phone call to mother-in-law. It was answered, and they talked for about 13 minutes and 19 seconds. Then at 11:09, Paul Murdaugh sends an iMessage to Miss Morgan stating, "Hey, Miss Morgan, this is Paul Murdaugh. We do not have an updated lease. Whenever it is convenient for you, will you send it over and we will get it filled out for you?"
It's too many exclamation points, Paul. I'm thinking they're talking about a lease.
Yeah,
Also, Marian Proctor, that's Maggie's sister,
sister.
by the way.
Okay. Then at 11:10, Paul Murdaugh FaceTimes Marlene Robinson. She did not answer. So then right after that at 11:13, Paul Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Nolan, answered, and they talked for about 3 minutes, 42 seconds. If only we knew what they said.
Oh, Barbara. Barbara is one of Ms. Libby, Alex's mom's
Moms,
caretakers. So
caretakers,
that's why she's calling Barbara and then calling the mom right
mom
away. She's not actually probably talking
to
to
mom.
Libby, but to her caretaker at the time.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
that makes sense.
So then Paul Murdaugh makes another outgoing phone call to his dad, Alex. It was a 58-second long call. Then at 11:18, Paul Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from John Murdaugh. Answered, it was about a minute and 38 seconds. 11:21, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Liz Arnett. It was answered about 22 seconds long. Then Paul Murdaugh receives an incoming call from Margaret Murdaugh. He answered, and it was about 3 minutes and 34 seconds.
Okay. So, all right. Lots
Yeah,
of
so
phone calls in the morning. Well, I guess if the grandpa is
second.
unwell, that can be a flurry of phone calls all over the place, I suppose, but okay.
So
'Cause
then
I
at
think he's in the
11,
hospital.
yeah, 11:22, Paul Murdaugh receives an incoming call from Margaret Murdaugh. Answered 3 minute 34 seconds. 11:23, Alex Murdaugh receives an incoming call from Jack Levine. 18 seconds long, assuming a voicemail answered it.
From Morgan Stanley, so that's a
Morgan Stanley.
investment money place.
11:25, Paul Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to dad. Answers 3 minutes 19 seconds. At least he's
Wait,
picking up,
what?
you know.
Well, why does this one say dad, and then earlier it said PA?
I don't know.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah. So then at 11:26, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Bianca. She answered it. They talked for about 3 minutes 28 seconds. Then at 11:30, Paul Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from John Murdaugh. Answered, they talked about a minute and 10 seconds. 11:33, Alex Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Christy H. Gerald. It says answered, and I'm guessing 62 seconds long.
Roughly. It's not 62 centimeters.
I know. I was like, what are we doing? Then at
Interesting.
11:37, Maggie Murdaugh makes another outgoing phone call to Bianca or
Blanca.
Blanca. 11:40, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to mom. It was answered 37 seconds long. At 11:45, Paul Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Rhett Frazier. They talked for about 2 minutes, 6 seconds. At 11:48, Alex Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Kenneth Gregory Singleton. Mobile call, voice call, or whatever, so 6 seconds long.
Yeah.
Then at 11:49, Paul Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to mom. She answers. They talk for about 9 minutes and 15 seconds. 11:49, Maggie Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Paul Murdaugh. Phone shows Margaret Murdaugh, but is Paul Murdaugh.
Hmm.
Oh,
Interesting. Weird.
okay, answered, and it was 9 minutes and 7 seconds long. What? Okay.
So at the same time, but one is
Yeah.
shorter than the other. See this.
It-
So
yeah.
confused.
11:57, Paul Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from John
Mm,
Murdaugh. Didn't answer the call. 11:58,
right.
Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Blanca. She answered it. It was 1 minute and 29 seconds long. That's a lot of phone calls in one
That
morning.
is, in one more, that is more phone calls than I've taken this entire year. That between all of them, more than I've talked on the phone for the
I mean,
whole
can't you
year.
just text people?
I know, it's kinda interesting, but okay, and Paul had 2 contact cards for his dad?
Mm,
Why would you have 2 different ones that are the same? That's
I have two
interesting.
for double H.
Is it the same number?
Mhm.
Why?
One because it's my emergency contact, so he's under ice in case of emergency, and the other one is under my favorites.
Oh, okay. Is this like an iPhone thing maybe? Like,
It is because
I don't
if you
know.
put ice as the label, they Apple's more willing to give them that information so they could call somebody because it's the emergency contact. Somebody told
Oh,
me, so I did it.
okay. Interesting. Okay, then. I suppose
12
that makes sense.
o'clock.
So at 12, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Marion. That's her sister, right? Is that what we established?
Mm,
Marion's her sister?
yes, I think
Yes.
so.
They talk for about 12 minutes. Then at 12:01, Paul receives a message from Mrs. Morgan stating, "Hi, it shows sent on Friday, but I'm not sure what happened. I just resent it. Please let me know if you don't get it." I think that's again regarding about the apartment lease. At 12:06 p.m., Paul receives a message from somebody stating, "Lonely wife hookup dot photography." Oh my. From
What?
a Canada Elvis 545 Gmail. That's probably like a
Okay,
phishing email.
somebody go look it up and see what lonely wife hookup dot photography is.
We're nosy. So here it looks like because they interject it with some of the infotainment system. You'll see they put a bunch of
Mm,
stuff in this report. I think this is in reference to Alec, his car that he's driving the whole day. So they're saying it starts up at 12:06. Or there was an update to service system startup, and then it drives off. I think is what that means. Now at 12:06,
I looked up
um,
the lonely hookups.
mhm.
It is a rated X thing to see lonely housewives photographs.
Yeah, yeah, it seems
So
like it's
now I'm gonna get
going into his
all kind
spam.
of spam.
Yes, absolutely. Um, let's see. So then Alec receives an incoming phone call from Kenneth Gregory Singleton, and this time he answers it for 30 seconds. Then at 12:06, right after that, um, it shows that his Suburban shows that it's connected his iPhone to the car. And then at 12:06:47, Alec Murdaugh's Suburban leaves Moselle. So he's been in Moselle this whole morning.
Why didn't he call
Okay.
Blanca himself or text her?
I guess you can't be bothered or something. I don't know.
I guess.
Um, so this shows that he's been at the house all day, and then, they trace him down the road there. So while he's driving at 12:08, Alec makes an outgoing phone call to William Wiley. Answered. They talked for 473 seconds. I don't know how long that is, so I wish they would, break that down for us like they did everywhere else, but okay. All right, fine. It's kind of a mess, in my opinion. Mhm. Hi, Kelly. Good afternoon. Hope you're
Hi,
doing well
Kelly.
today, babes. So then at 12:12, Paul Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from John Murdaugh, his uncle. They talk for 13 seconds. Then at 12:14, Paul makes an outgoing phone call to Roosta, his other uncle, John, or is that the same? No. Shit, I don't remember all the siblings' names. 'Cause I think there's
It
what?
says
There's 3
John
brothers and a
Marvin Murdaugh.
sister. Yeah.
Is there 2 John Murdaughs?
No, there's hold on. Let me look up the Murdaugh family. We need a who's who sheet because
I know, I'm
they're a
like, do I need
generational
to
family, so I get, like, uh, the, who's who. Okay, so we got let me see. Is this a good one? No, because that doesn't even show all of its brothers. Let me see.
Yes, I just made a note, Kelly, to
Oh,
make a org chart like a family tree thing, and I will do that.
Okay, let's see if this is anything good. No, it didn't even work. Okay, that's fine. We'll get to the org chart. But I know there's like Uncle Randy, there's John Marvin, there's Alec, and I feel like they have a sister too,
They
don't
do,
they?
Elizabeth Libby.
Okay. It's named after the mom? She's named
That's
after
what
her
I'm
mom?
looking at, this chart I just found online.
Okay.
Oh, no, they had Lynn, Randy, Alex, and John Marvin.
Lynn.
Lynn.
Okay. Because then they all have like family names and it's
It is
all,
like the Targaryens.
yes, it is very Targaryen. It's very Targaryen with their prestige and
Buster
lineage.
is Richard Alex Murdaugh Jr.
Mhm.
But who's Rooster? I'm
That's
not
John
seeing Rooster.
Marvin.
Okay.
I'm assuming that uh that's like with because Paul's doing these, so maybe he has 2 call cards then, like he did for Dad and
Maybe.
Pa. One might just say John Murdaugh, the other might be a more nickname for his uncle there. So anyway, so Paul tries to call John, doesn't answer. He waits a minute, and then Paul tries to call him again, and this time John answers for about 14 seconds. 12:16, Alec makes an outgoing phone call to Jamie Harrelson, a whole 6 seconds long. What? I don't understand. Ugh.
The phone has to answer or like voicemail and then they hang up. Has to
Mm,
be.
could be. Yeah, that's true.
Hi, Mama
Hi, Mama
Llama.
Llama. Let's see. Then, um, at 12:16, Paul gets a phone call from Alec. They talk for about a minute, but Alec is leaving the house, driving into, I think, the law firm, if I remember right. 12:17, Maggie's Mercedes Benz hits on the ALPR in Adesto. Excuse me, they're tracking her car. Then between 12:17 p.m. and 7:04 p.m., Maggie's iPhone was unplugged from a charging source. Okay.
Okay.
Um, at 12:18, Alec iMessages Paw Paw. Paw Paw. You're gonna hear that a lot in the trial. I know he's a victim, but like, come on, that's hilarious. Paw Paw.
Kelly, it was the day of the murders.
Mhm. So, where was I? Alec messages Paul stating, "Call me when you have better service." Okay, so maybe that's why Paul keeps recalling people because he
Okay.
doesn't have good service, I guess. So then at 12:19, Paul makes an outgoing phone call to Brian Murdaugh. I think that's a cousin that lives down the street or something. Or did his friend live down? I don't know. He talks to them for a minute and 27 seconds. At 12:19, the same time, Alec makes a phone call to Buster, his other son, for about 31 seconds. And at 12:19, Maggie is receiving an incoming phone call from Brandsetter Turd. I don't know who that is. At 9:20, Paul makes an outgoing phone call to John Marvin, 38 seconds. Then at 12:20, 24. So before that one, why are these out of order? My
I
God.
don't know. I was like, what's going on now?
How are we supposed to take you seriously, SLED? Come on. It's a timeline. So then Paul Murdaugh receives an iMessage from Dad stating, "Call me when you have better service." So, okay, so he just received it, but Alec had sent it to him a little while before at 12:18. So it
Yeah.
took him 2 minutes to get that one. And then at 12:21, Alec makes a phone call to Christy H. Gerald for a whole 20 seconds. And then at 12:21, Alex Suburban arrives at Pimped. That's what I call it. Because I mean, does anyone else not call it that? It's literally Pimped.
It's bad.
The law firm in Hampton. And then at 12:21, it shows that his vehicle was put into park at those times. And then Alex at 12:22, Alec makes a phone call to Danny Henderson for 376 seconds. And 12:24, Alex Suburban is at the law firm. And here's a picture of them tracking him to the law firm. Have you read that because Zoe's barking and she wants back inside.
At 12:26 p.m., Alex Murdaugh receives an incoming call from Christy H. Verrill, and it was answered 18 seconds long. Then at 12:26 and 42 seconds, Alex Murdaugh receives an incoming call from Corey Fleming.
That's
Call
one of his
answered.
crime bestie club.
He's one of the crime besties, but it was the second long. Yeah. So I thought, I was like, isn't Corey one of the gang?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then at 12:27, Maggie Murdaugh receives a text from a number stating, please use the link below to complete your new patient registration forms 24 hours prior to your arrival. Failure to do so may result in your appointment being delayed. Shelbourneface.com forms. A copy of both your dental and medical insurance cards must be obtained at your consultation in order for benefits to be quoted for future treatment or any services rendered.
Okay. So dentist stuff.
Dentist stuff. Then at 12:28, Alex Murdaugh calls Corey Fleming, who answered. This time is 429 seconds long. Why is it seconds and sometimes it's minutes?
I
Why
don't
are we
know.
supposed to trust this?
I don't know, but I'm going to be annoyed because I'm going to have to make one for ourselves.
So at between 12:31 and 12:35 p.m., Maggie Murdaugh's phone shows Wi-Fi connection SSID Murdaugh distro. Okay. 12:31, Maggie Murdaugh receives an incoming call from Margaret Murdaugh, Paul Murdaugh.
Okay.
1 minute long. That's weird. Is it Paul or Margaret?
Again, these systems are not perfect and they should really argue these at the trial because we run into the same issues that we heard about in the Karen Reed case. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people honed in on this timeline in the phone calls. And then I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. So then Paul Murdaugh makes an at 12:31. Paul Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to mom. She answered. They talked for about 1 minute and 15 seconds. Then at 12:33, Alex Murdaugh's Suburban shows device connection to iPhone. Okay, according to the FBI report. Then they've got the chart here. It looks like it's for the car. 12:33, vehicle power cycling off. 12:33, engine is running. 12, these are all the same timestamp. Vehicle status changed to off. Then again at 12:33, engine is not running. So they told us the same. That's weird. Engine is running and engine is not running.
I guess that's very confusing to me, but okay.
Okay. Then at 12:34 p.m., Paul Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Lucille Boyle. It was about a 37-second call. 12:35, Alex Murdaugh receives an incoming call from Corey Fleming. Answered. They talk for 147 seconds.
Okay, so Corey is the Bessie's Crime Club that represented the Satterfields when they sued Alec. That's right. Thank you. And then there's the bank guy. I forget what the bank guy's name is.
At 12:38, Alex Murdaugh enters the east door of the Pimped law firm. Note, building access logs are unavailable for when Alex Murdaugh left the pimped law firm. Then it looks like we've got more car stuff. 12:42 system startup. 12:42, 8 seconds, state sleep. Then at 12:43 and 34 seconds, system startup. Then at 12:43 and 35 seconds, state sleep.
Okay.
Okay. 12:54, Alex Murdaugh calls pimped number. It's answered and it was 5-second long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he forgot something. I don't remember. Russell, thank you. I have been sitting here. I'm like, I know it starts with an L. Uh, that's right, Russell Lafitte.
Feet.
Because you live there. Well, not there specifically, but
Right.
what are you doing, Sal? Laying on your palace blanket?
Do you want to start
No,
with one or do you want me to keep going?
you can keep going. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna give Zoe
1:05 to 2:24 p.m. Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows Bluetooth connection MBUX 95224. Okay. At 1:08, Paul Murdaugh receives an incoming call from niece Junior Richard. They talked for about 8 minutes, 15 seconds. 1:09 p.m., Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Liz Arnett, 4-second long conversation. 1:11, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Paul Murdaugh. It was a 4-second long conversation. If they would just text each other, because nobody's answering, right?
Nope.
1:11, Paul Murdaugh misses a phone call from Margaret Murdaugh. 1:11 p.m. and 36 seconds, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Buster Murdaugh, who answered, and they talked for about 1 minute and 22 seconds. At 1:12 p.m., Maggie Murdaugh's Mercedes-Benz hits on Alper Tept Out Edisto. No idea.
Yeah, the license plate reader.
Oh, on there.
Like
Okay.
the cameras from those is
Cameras.
yeah.
The flocks. Okay. 1:19 p.m., Paul Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to mom. Answered, and it was 4 minutes and 40 seconds long. Extract shows Margaret Murdaugh, but the number is for Paul Murdaugh. Maybe her name's on the bill, but the number's registered to him.
But other times it's popped up
I
as
know.
Paul. So don't know.
So at 1:19, Maggie Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Margaret Murdaugh, which was really Paul Murdaugh, 4 minutes and 42 seconds. At 1:23 p.m., Alex Murdaugh receives an incoming call from Kenneth Gregory Singleton. Call was answered, 46 seconds long.
Who's Kenneth? He's called him a bunch of times by now, and I don't. What is this guy that he keeps calling?
So,
He's not. He didn't testify. So.
Kelly, if you look in the discard some chats, because we heard all of that in the trial on Friday, Fitz did not put that out.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a rumor, maybe. So at 1:32, Maggie Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Proctor Marion. They talk for 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Then at 1:34, Maggie Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Elizabeth Arnett. They talked for 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Now at 1:40, Maggie Murdaugh makes another outgoing phone call to Liz Arnett, 14 seconds long. At 1:41, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Alex. He did not answer. At 1:42, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Buster Murdaugh. He did not answer. At 1:42, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Paul Murdaugh. 0 seconds. She's not having any luck.
No.
At 1:42, Alex Murdaugh received a group text from Randy Murdaugh stating, Daddy was just seen by the pulmonologist in Savannah. His opinion is dramatically different from the other doctors. He thinks daddy has pneumonia and needs to be hospitalized to be treated for pneumonia. He thinks there could be an obstruction, but is more confident that it is or mostly pneumonia. Daddy is being admitted to Candler St. Joseph Hospital now. He will have a study done to see whether or not there is an obstruction, and his treatment will be tailored accordingly. Right now, his pulmonologist does not believe that he will be getting radiation treatment. And in fact, the pulmonologist says the palliative radiation treatment to try to open up the airway is a Hail Mary, and in his opinion, most likely would not work. If he is right, and this is pneumonia, it is much more treatable and can certainly give the immunotherapy a chance to work. Although it was not addressed, if this is not an obstruction, the whole prediction of less than a few weeks would not be true, assuming dad can get past this pneumonia. It's my understanding that the study will be done this afternoon to determine whether it is an obstruction, and John or I will update as soon as we know more. And that was that same family chat.
And I think the dad, like, passes away in, like, within a week of
Yeah,
the
of the
murders,
murders.
like, just a few days later, I feel like. But
Yeah.
also, I don't know, is this a Southern thing to call your dad daddy as grown men and adults? Is that a Southern?
It,
It's weird.
not for me, but I know other
Oh, okay.
people who do it. I know people who do it. Like I have a friend that she has a dad and a stepdad. She calls her biological dad dad, and she's closer to her stepdad. She calls him daddy.
Mm, okay.
So I
Just
don't know.
wondering.
Yeah. See where I was. Okay, at 1:47, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Buster. He didn't answer. So then she hangs up and calls Paul Murdaugh, who did answer, and they talked for 4 minutes and 16 seconds.
Oh, wait,
Now,
no, I think
according
you
to
skipped, you're supposed to be up here at 1:42 because then there's another big text message, family text message
oh,
that
I
goes out.
skipped it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, no
At
problem.
1:44, Alex Murdaugh received a group text from John Marvin Murdaugh stating, Daddy is being checked back into the hospital in
Oh,
Savannah now.
okay.
Doctor thinks his issue is pneumonia and that radiation is not the treatment needed. He will do some tests to confirm. Hopefully, if it's pneumonia and not cancer causing the breathing issues. Can someone make arrangements to pack a bag with some shorts, underwear, shirts, etc.? Also, a toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, etc. I'll let y'all know when he's admitted. Looks like it's the same family chat.
How far is Savannah from here? Like, are they talking about, like, Savannah, Georgia? Is that what they're talking about?
Uh, unless there's a Savannah, South Carolina.
I don't know. It's probably Georgia. Let's look at the map.
But how far away is that?
From where they live?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Where do they live again?
South Carolina.
Right,
I'm trying to
but
remember.
Hampton, right?
Hampton.
Something like that? Alright, no, let's get
Savannah is in Georgia. Okay, I just didn't know if there was one in South Carolina.
'cause I think they're more by the coastal side. Oh, it's about an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's
A little over an hour, which is not,
not bad.
bad to travel for hospital or anything like
Mm-mm.
that, so okay, I see.
Yeah.
And then Maggie was in Edisto, but she was headed towards where they are.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize Allendale is, like, literally, like, one
It's like
town over.
it's like you're literally right there.
Oh. Oh, that's interesting. Hmm. Okay.
Now let's see, where was that at? At 1:47, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Buster, who does not answer. Then she hangs up and she makes an outgoing phone call to Paul Murdaugh, who answered, and they talk for 4 minutes and 16 seconds. On Paul's phone, at the same time, it shows he received that call from Margaret Murdaugh, and it was 4 minutes and 15 seconds long.
It makes me really sad that they talked so much that day. Well, I don't know if it's sad or if that's good that they got to talk before they both went, but just like
They just were dealing with,
think
you know, grandpa
yeah.
kind of thing. So Maggie Murdaugh received incoming calls from Paul's phone number. Not getting into that confusion.
Mm,
At 1:52, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Buster Murdaugh, who did answer, and they talked for about a minute and 19 seconds. Then at 1:52, Paul Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Will Loving. It was a 1-second call.
mm.
At 1:54, Maggie Murdaugh makes an outgoing phone call to Marion, who answered, and it was a minute and 27 seconds long. Okay, at 1:55, Maggie Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Pa, Alex Murdaugh, and they talk for 6 minutes and 18 seconds.
Okay.
Why would her phone have him in as Paul? I bet it's the Paul phone and they just didn't. Okay. That's confused. At 1:56, Maggie receives an iMessage from Buster Murdaugh stating 4784 Cascade Avenue. And she read it at 3:45 p.m. Maggie Murdaugh replies, I need Zip. And Med will be there Wednesday. Buster Murdaugh replies, okay, at 5:05. At 1:56 p.m., Alex Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Derek Moore. It was answered and it was 3 seconds long. At 1:57 p.m., Alex Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Derek Moore again, and this time it was a 6-second call.
Oh, it
Then
went to
at one
voicemail.
yeah, well, it
Goes into
said or
voicemail.
forwarded. I think people just hang up when they hear the voicemail. I know I do.
Mhm. I do too.
At 1:57, Maggie Murdaugh's Mercedes-Benz hits on ALPR CPD Carolina Bay Lane 1NB,
Northbound.
northbound, I'm assuming,
Okay. So she's leaving I think she's leaving Adesto, the beach house,
and
at
going
this point in time. So, yeah, that makes sense. I realized it was like a whole island, but okay. Oh,
and I'm gonna run to the ladies' room while you start at
okay. Yeah.
2:00.
Yeah, sure. Were they client phone calls? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look more. All I have right now is the list of who testified, but I know that they go over this extensively in the trial. So the first one, and we will be watching past trial coverage of all of this to be explained a little bit more because I personally think that for the retrial, the data is going to be the most important part over the whole trial between phones, between cars. It was a big focus before, but I think too, as I've said before, I think the defense is also going to pull a lot from the Karen Reed trial and the problems that were made very public about Celebrite and all of those and how, steps can be completely misconstrued and not actually steps at all. They can say, oh, somebody was going up a set of stairs, but she was just in the car going up a hill. So there's a lot of unreliable possible data that depends on your interpretation, which is not as factual as investigators or prosecutors set out to make you believe. So I think that's where they're going to be focusing a lot, which means this timeline is of the utmost importance because this is what's going to be the big focus here. DNA, maybe it depends if the new DNA test even says anything.
Yeah.
Um, because the DNA, not a big issue for me in the trial. Um, they didn't really have much of anything, if I recall. The gunshot residue, that's a joke. That's junk science. And besides, it was like 3 molecules or whatever, which means nothing when you have guns everywhere. Um, that's why a lot of courts have thrown that out as junk science. And then I do expect them to also concentrate more on Alex infotainment system. Because you remember how, like, in the middle of the trial, the guy from
Mhm.
General Motors in Michigan, like, showed up? So neither side really got to really dive in deep with what all we know now about infotainment and these kind of records here. So, all right, sorry, I did not get to 2, I was just answering. So who here thinks he did it himself or saw it happen? Well, those are 2 very different questions. I don't think I don't think he did it. I think he knows what happens, which is very
Mhm.
different than what the state is saying. State is saying he did it and only he did it. So therefore, if you believe anything else besides their theory, then it is reasonable doubt. And that's how I feel about it. I think the prosecution really needs to step up their game with this one based on the appeals that we watched from the Supreme Court.
Mhm.
So we'll see. I am very interested to see a retrial of this. I missed those guys, Waters and Poot and Jim. I missed them. All right. So at 2 p.m., at 2:02 p.m., Maggie receives an incoming phone call from Pa, Alec Murdaugh, which is 13 seconds. Then Alec receives a group message from Lynn Goet stating he'll want his electric razor to pack extra boxers and shorts. Okay, why is this in the group chat? But okay. Um, then at 2:03 to 2:04, Maggie's iPhone shows Wi-Fi connection, and she's at a McDonald's free Wi-Fi. So, okay. Then at 2:05, Maggie makes an outgoing phone call to Marion, her sister, doesn't answer. Then at 2:06, she gets an incoming call from Marion, her sister, for 6 minutes and 44 seconds. Then Alec at 2:08 calls Eloise Bostic, and they talk for however long the many seconds is. See, again, we did minutes up here.
I
Why
know.
can't we do it here?
How does a computer system give different formats when it prints out a report is what I find very interesting.
It's up to the person collecting the data. That's why
Yeah,
I'm very
that's
interested to see these arguments because, um, you know, we've heard them testify. It's about how you interpret it.
yeah.
So I think it'll be very interesting. So then at 2:16, Alec receives an incoming phone call from Dimitrik Mangio for 427 seconds. 2:24, Maggie's iPhone disconnects her from her Bluetooth. 2:29, I'm assuming she's leaving the McDonald's or something, but why would she be there that long? I don't know. Alec receives an incoming phone call from Kenneth Gregory Singleton for 25 seconds. Then 2:36, Paul makes an outgoing phone call to Chance. They talk for less than a minute. Paul then receives an incoming phone call from Elaine Gibson, 2 minutes and 47 seconds. I think that's who lives down the street from them. Isn't that right? The Gibsons? I think one of
Mhm.
his besties. Hold on, let me look at this list. That name sounds very familiar. Ooh, Gibson. No, that's not it.
Mm.
Maybe not. Yes, yes. Roger Gibson is his friend. The sweet tea at McDonald's is delicious. That's why. Oh, I'm
I have
very
been.
curious about the DNA as well. I'm very
Mhm.
curious about all of the things. I'm ready for it, and I'm looking to see how they do. So going in with an open mind because I think that's important. So we'll see what happens. All right. So where was I? All right. So he talks to Elaine, who lives down the street, if I remember right. Do these show who? No, those are not helpful. I don't know whose phone this is pinging off of. Marty's, I get. Who's Marty? I don't
Uh,
know. Maybe we'll know more later. I feel like we're going to revisit this timeline several times. So this is what I also planned for the timeline too, right? So we're reading it right now. We're kind of like, what? I don't know. But then as we watch previous trial coverage, we can easily pull up this timeline and
mhm.
be like, okay, this is what we're talking about here. So it'll end up all making sense, maybe. at the end.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll
No
see,
promises.
right? So then that's the cast from the FBI of where the phones are pinging from. Then Maggie at 2:43 to 3:08, her iPhone shows Bluetooth connected to that. I think that's probably her car. I don't know. 2:56, Maggie receives an incoming phone call from Elizabeth Arnott for 14 minutes and 56 seconds. That's her sister-in-law. Then 2:59, Maggie's Mercedes-Benz hits a license plate reader. And then at 2:59, Alec receives an incoming call from Tamika Richardson, answered at 47 seconds long. I just saw her name on this list. Don't worry, we'll have a quiz at the end of all of this. I'm just kidding. I could have swore Tamika was on this. No. Maybe I was watching something with the name Tamika. That's probably it.
It's like I
Is it
hadn't heard that name
Alone?
today. Or if I did,
Actually,
it's
now that I
something
think
I just
about
heard.
it, I think it was from Alone Australia that we've been watching a lot. I think there's a contestant named Tamika now that I think about it. I'm like, wait, why does this sound familiar? That's because it's probably from there. All right, so then 3 p.m. Let's do that. You want to do that one? You do that.
I do.
Did
So
he
at
get, oh,
3,
hold on real quick. Did he get life or financial crimes? So he got, oh, what are the numbers? I want to say ballpark was 12 to 15 for the state financial charges. And then I want to say 40 to 47 for the federal. So somewhere
40
around there.
years in federal prison, 27 for state.
Okay, well, my estimates weren't the best. But whatever. Either way, he's not going to be let out, even if he's found innocent of this. He's
Yeah.
going to be there for a long, long time. And
He's
he
going to
pled
die there,
guilty.
people.
Yeah, I mean, considering how old he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you want to be my quiz buddy, Mary? Look at you tapping the local. Hey,
Hey, psst.
share the answers.
So at 3:02 p.m., Alex Murdaugh receives an iMessage stating, "Hey, Mr. Alex, can you give me a call, please? This is Aiden Reddish's mom."
Okay.
And he read that right when he got it. At 3:03, Paul Murdaugh sends a Snapchat message to Richard stating, "No, no."
Oh, Paul sent that. I thought it was Alex. I
Yeah,
was like, what?
that
But
Paul.
okay.
Like, then at 3:08, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows Bluetooth disconnected. Okay, then between 3:11 and 3:17, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows Wi-Fi connection, Xfinity Wi-Fi. So maybe she's at home,
Oh,
hotspot,
or she's driving and it's reconnecting and because it is very country in between the
country.
two. Then maybe
But
because
I was
I
thinking,
assume they have Wi-Fi in their car,
I said to say, I would assume her Mercedes has Wi-Fi.
right? So maybe that's why. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
So at 3:13, Alex Murdaugh calls Gray Holmes and they talk for 607 seconds.
Okay.
So between 3:18 and 3:37, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone Bluetooth shows connected to MBucks, whatever. At 3:24, Alex Murdaugh receives a group message from John Marvin Murdaugh stating, "Also, pack a phone charger," to that family group.
Okay.
At 3:24, Alex Murdaugh receives an incoming phone call from Buster Murdaugh. Answered 518 seconds. Okay. 3:28 p.m., Maggie Murdaugh receives a text message from Blanca stating dinner is on the stove, just left. Now, my question that I've had for that,
Mhm.
what time do you eat dinner if she's leaving dinner on the stove at 3:28?
Well, I think that it's just there so you can like heat it up whenever, maybe. I don't remember what she made. Do any of you guys remember what
I
she
don't
made that
remember.
night? All I know is it would be great if I just had somebody doing all
It's
this. I'm just saying.
Oh,
I'd
absolutely.
appreciate
But so at 3:31, Alex Murdaugh responds to the group chat and says, "Talk later, P."
So is this his first time responding in the group chat to this? I think so.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, let me. So then at 3:33, Alex Murdaugh responds to the group chat and says, "Not sure how that got sent." The
Okay.
talk later question mark. Okay. At 3:37
Oh, mac
p.m.
and cheese? That's what was on the stove? Mm, okay.
Okay, I just maybe they eat dinner at 4:35. I don't know. But anyway. At 3:37, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows Bluetooth disconnected. Then at 3:40, Maggie Murdaugh sends a text message to Blanca stating, "Thank you."
Mm,
Okay. At 3:42, Maggie Murdaugh sends a group text message to Mary Ann and Mom stating, "John, right now they plan to do both treatments in Bluffton at 3:45. I am trying to find out when or if he will be seen by a pulmonologist. I will keep you posted. Daddy was just seen by the pulmonologist in Savannah. His opinion is dramatically different from the other doctors. He thinks
Oh,
Daddy
this is I'm just gonna save you from reading this.
I should say this is the
She's
same message.
forwarding, but yeah, it's the same message that they had sent in that group chat, but now she's forwarding it to her sister and her
See that
mom.
down there, original message. So she just
Mhm.
forwarded the message.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing
At
new there.
3:47, Maggie sends a text message to Brooklyn White stating, "Could you please
Really?
text me your address, including zip? Thank you." Buster texts me road, and that was it for his med delivery. Okay. At 3:47, Brooklyn White responds, 4784 Cascade Avenue, Rock Hill, South Carolina, 29732, which Maggie responds, "Thank you." Between 3:50 and 4:21 p.m., Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows Wi-Fi connection to Buster's Island 5G. And during that time, it looks like his Wi-Fi dropped twice.
Okay.
Between 3:52 and 4:26, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows Wi-Fi connection CGS guest. Okay. Then at 3:52, Alex Murdaugh receives an iMessage from Blanca Simpson stating, "Thank you, Alex. Your dinner is ready. It's on the stove."
What is she thanking him for? What did he even
That's what
say?
that's why I'm like, I don't remember us reading that he sent her anything.
Or even called her? Hmm, interesting. Okay.
Okay. At 3:54, Maggie Murdaugh receives a text message from Blanca stating, "You're welcome. I just made your deposit." She does errands too, like to the bank.
All of the things, I think.
Yeah.
I think Blanca does a lot. She cooks, she cleans, she runs some
She takes
errands.
care of the house.
She takes care of the house. I think she also is kind of like a assistant to Maggie too, I
Mhm.
think, if I remember from her testimony. We'll definitely rewatch Blanca's testimony, so.
So 3:55, Maggie Murdaugh sends a text message to Blanca stating, "Thank you. I'm waiting at doctor. Alex wanted me to come home. I had to leave door open at a disto, but trust Mexicans to shut and lock for me."
Okay. Well, I don't know if we had to word
Uh,
it like that, but
I
okay.
don't like that. Okay.
Okay.
3:57, Maggie Murdaugh sends a text message to Blanca stating, "His dad is back in hospital. The last doctor claims not cancer, it's pneumonia. Alex is about to die. Hope he doesn't go down there to sleep. Alex needs to take care of himself as well." Could they also talk in full sentences?
I don't know. Maybe they're doing like voice to chat or something. I don't know. I
Maybe.
don't use that.
3:57, Maggie Murdaugh sends an iMessage, Alex stating, "I will be home to see you in a few hours." At
Okay.
3:59, Alex Murdaugh receives an incoming call from Barbara Mixon, answered in 64 seconds long.
Which is 1 minute and 4 seconds, but sure.
Yeah. You want to do four?
Okay. Oh, yeah. So then Alec iMessages Maggie May stating, "How's your doctor's appointment?" At 4:02, Alec receives a group text messages from Michael Gunn stating, "Lena in the middle, a fire emoji." Rod and Harbin were also in a group chat. Okay. And then there's a picture of hot young girls on the beach, I guess. Then at 4:03, Maggie Murdaugh receives a text message from Blanca stating, "Yes, he does. He told me he was tired when he left. I hope they can treat Mr. Randolph at least to make him comfortable." Then at 4:04, Colton Tutton calls Roger Gibson for 69 seconds. Who the fuck is that?
I'm like, who is that?
And why are they on our list here? But okay. At 4:06, Alec messages the group chat of his gross friends, stating, "You old dog, where's Lena now?" Gross. 4:06:13, Maggie messages Alex stating, "Waiting as usual." Then at 4:06, Maggie sends a text message to Blanca stating, "I'm scared for him and Alec and all of us." Girl. Oof,
Girl, yeah.
yikes. At 4:07, Alec receives a group message from his friend Michael stating, "Up in Philly, about to get married next year." Okay, so we're just following a woman around then. Okay. Has anybody read it? What, the Blancas? No.
Within the House of Murdaugh, I just ordered it.
Mm.
I just hit
Yeah,
the
Becky
button.
wrote a book too, but
I'm not reading hers.
I actually did start reading a part of that, and I'll be honest, it was a whole lot of religious talk,
Yeah,
and I was like, "This is a really weird." It was weird.
yeah.
It was a little too much for me. Because I was like, "I don't know what that has to do with anything," but okay. So at 4:08, Maggie receives an incoming phone call, which is from Charleston Area Appraisal. She talks to them for about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So this is where Alec is. He's bouncing. This is the mom place down here, his mom's house, and then the red up here
Right.
is where they live.
Moselle.
So yeah, I
Hmm.
guess. And that's between the hours of 4:10 and 6:25. So okay. At 4:10, Maggie Murdaugh receives a text message from Blanca stating, "I know, just pray about it and hope he gets a little better. Alec and you really need to relax. Always being on the go with little to no sleep is not healthy." Mhm.
What? Let's keep them so busy.
At 4:10, well, they're just busy making phone calls all day, I guess. I don't know. It sounds exhausting. To this day,
Yeah.
I'm already exhausted just reading about it. I'm like, that is way too many conversations to be have. So, um, Dave, we
I could
should
do
set
that.
a
I
book
just
club.
ordered it on Kindle, and I think it has voice activated text or whatever.
Nice. So then at 4:12, Maggie gets another text from Blanca. "Remember that I have a doctor's appointment in the morning in Buford. If I get done early, I'll go to Moselle. I'll let you know." Okay. Well, is she not going to Moselle that night or?
I think she said she left for the day because that's why she left dinner on the stove.
Yeah.
Blanca left.
Right. Oh, Maggie received. Oh, I understood that wrong. Maggie received the text from Blanca. I was thinking it was going the other way, and I was like, I thought she was going to be at the house because the dinner's on the stove. But never mind. That makes more sense. All right. So Blanca is saying she has a doctor's appointment
Yes.
in the morning, and if she gets done, she'll come by. For 16, Alec received a group text message with his gross friends that says, "Really? Wow." 4:21, Maggie sends a text to Blanca stating no worries. And then at 4:25 to 4:32, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows Bluetooth connected to somewhere. But where is
I
she?
think that's her car, Mercedes-Benz, and then the number, because like,
Oh,
mine says AUD for Audi and then has a number.
okay.
I'm guessing.
So it looks like she's still over in the way of the beach, is what that looks like to me. So she is not over in Moselle yet, I don't think. Okay. So then, at 4:25, Maggie makes an outgoing phone call to Liz Arnett, 5 seconds. 4:26, Maggie makes an outgoing phone call to mom. That's about 6 minutes long. 4:32 to 4:39 shows her Bluetooth disconnected. 4:38, Maggie makes an outgoing phone call to Alex, 22 seconds. 4:39 to 4:52, Maggie's iPhone shows Bluetooth connected to her car. 4:40, Maggie makes an outgoing phone call to Barbara, 27 seconds long. Maggie then makes an outgoing phone call to Dupexment, My Way
Dupixent.
Co-Taker.
It's
Dupixent.
for eczema. It's a medication.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Oh, that's probably
For Buster.
for Buster. Yeah, 4:42. Maggie makes an outgoing call to Buster, 38 seconds long. That makes sense. Okay. Then she calls a pharmacy, I'm assuming, for 7 minutes. So that's fun. Hate that for her. Then at 4:48, Alec receives a group message from John Marvin stating room 632. Nurse says we can alternate visits with only one person in at a time. Um, then at 4:48, Lynn, that's the sister, the Murdaugh sister, responds with, "What about at night?" John says back, "No visitors at night." Um, at 4:59, Lynn says, "Any estimate on release?" And then John says, "No." At 4:52, then Maggie's iPhone shows that her Bluetooth is disconnected. Here's Paul's whereabouts between 4:53 and 6:09. So, okay. So at 4:53, then Paul receives an incoming call from John. They talk for about 4 minutes. Maggie receives an incoming phone call from Palmetto Oral A, 58 seconds. Then at 4:59, Mary Ann Dempsey calls Rogan Gibson, 126 seconds. I think those are um Paul's friends.
Okay.
I don't know who Mary Ann is off the top of my head, but I know Rogan, it was one of his. That's the one who lives down the street. So I don't remember why it's relevant, but I guess we'll end up finding out. So 5:01, Rogan calls Nolan Tutton. Oh, that's a name we saw earlier. 5:03, Paul receives an iMessage from Britt stating, "You going to the golf tournament this weekend?" 5:03, Paul responds to Britt with, "What golf tournament?" 5:06, Paul receives an iMessage from Britt stating the PGA tournament in Gillisonville. 5:07, Nolan Tutton calls Rogan Gibson, 43 seconds. Ugh, PGA tournament sounds boring. 5:10, Maggie receives an incoming phone call from an unknown number, 7 seconds. 5:11, Paul calls Will Lovin, his friend, 2 seconds. 5:11:31, Paul makes an outgoing phone call to Robert Boyle, 29 minutes and 25 seconds. That's a really long one. Is he on the? I don't think Boyle is on there. What do they talk about? That's like the longest phone call anybody's had today. So,
What to
okay.
say?
5:16, Alec calls Buster, 6 seconds. Then 5:17, Alex sends a message to Anthony Lavati stating, hey buddy, call me when you can."
What's up with their exclamation points? They like them.
They sure do. They sure do. 5:19, Alec receives an incoming call from Anthony, but it goes to voicemail. 5:19, Alec calls Maggie. And they talk for 114 seconds. 5:19, mm, Alec receives a text message from Anthony stating, "Just tried calling you back." He's on the phone with Maggie. So then Alec calls Buster at 5:21, and they talk for 92 seconds. 5:24, Alec calls Sean and Jordan Jinx. They talk for a little while. Apparently, he's not going to call back that other person, Anthony. Did he just decide, like, fuck it?
I
I
guess
don't need to
not.
talk to Anthony, I guess. All right. 5:25, Paul receives a Snapchat message from Madison stating, "I told you to come. I told Loving to come. I doubt he will." That's one of Paul's friends. So 5:26, Paul responds back to Madison, haha. At 5:26, Alec receives a text message from Cynthia Washington stating, "Pure worship of Jehovah." Oh, geez. Okay, why is this all? I don't know. It's quotes from the Bible, I guess. That's random.
Oh, it's good at the way it answers at the bottom.
All right. Well, then okay, fine.
Let's read it.
Pure worship of Jehovah, restored at last. I will certainly sanctify my great name, and the nations will have to know that I am Jehovah. Okay. The end is now upon you, from Ezekiel. Focus Jehovah's prophetic judgments against Jerusalem, how fulfilled. 17, what conditions and events will we witness during the coming great tribulation? 17 answered. Ezekiel's prophecy also reminds us that when the coming attack against religious organizations occur, answered, members of the churches will not be going to the battle to defend religion. Instead, answered, as they begin to realize that their cry for help, Lord, Lord, is going unanswered. Their hands will hang limp and they will be shuddering. Okay. What else will they do? Answered, Jehovah says they will throw their silver into the street. That statement regarding the inhabitants of ancient Jerusalem also vividly illustrates what will take place during the Great Tribulation. At that time, people will realize that money cannot save them from coming calamity. Oh, well, that's interesting. Who the fuck is this? Who's Cynthia?
What
Cynthia being like a freaking like prophet over here. Where's that from? Like, is that they talk about Jehovah? Is that like Jehovah
I,
Witness or something? I don't
that's
know.
what I was getting ready to say. Are they a Jehovah Witness? But I know it was Ezekiel and
I don't know all the books of the Bible, so I don't know. I don't really know where this is coming from.
so according to Fitz News, they call it the Doomsday Text
Oh, of
that
course.
she sent. And it is a spiritual outreach campaign for the Jehovah Witnesses.
Okay. So it's just a rando text. Sometimes LOP gets rando letters from them, like handwritten letters. It's very weird. And he's like, I don't even know
Okay.
how I got on the list. I don't get them.
They answered your door or they knocked on your door and
No,
somebody answered it. I don't know.
no, I've never done that.
The internet.
Okay, sorry, I forgot I was reading. So then at 5:29, Paul receives an incoming phone call from Alec. They talk for 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Alec then calls Paul at 5:29. They talk. Oh, that's the same phone call. At 5:31, Alec calls Aiden Reddish Outbondum 2 minute or 230 seconds. Then 5:37, Paul is near 31 Bellinger Bluff Road, John Marvin's residence. Okay. Oh, yeah, because wasn't he supposed to do something for John that day? Did it
That
involve
day.
cutting wood or something?
I don't
I
remember.
don't remember. But okay. So he was over there at John's house. Then at 5:37, Paul Murdaugh receives a snap message from Parker stating, "You coming or no?" 5:38, Alec calls the law office for seconds. 5:38:20, Paul Murdaugh sends Roy or Robert Boyle what looks to be a picture of a hot tub. Hold on, let's.
For $700.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a hot tub. Maybe is
Yeah.
Robert his roommate? Probably. Then Alec At 5:39, calls the law office again. Nobody answers. 5:40, Paul calls Will. They have a 10-minute conversation. Then at 5:42, Rogan Gibson calls Cal Hux, and he calls them again at 5:56. Then at 5:57, Paul sends a Snapchat message to Parker stating, "I can't get off." Okay. I don't know what that means. Could mean several things. I don't know. Maybe he has to work. I don't know. Does Paul have a job?
I was say, does
I
he
don't
have
think
a
Paul has a
job?
job.
I didn't think so. So what is he getting off of?
I don't know. 6 o'clock, Paul receives an incoming phone call from his Uncle John, 23 seconds. 6:01, Paul is near John's house. 6:03 to 6:13, Maggie's iPhone shows a Wi-Fi connection. 6:04, Paul calls Will Lovin. No answer. 6:04 again, Paul receives an incoming call from Will. He calls him back. They talk for about 2 minutes and 32 seconds. 6:08, Paul makes an outgoing call to Dad. Doesn't really say anything. Then he calls his mom at 6:09, 2 seconds. 6:09, Maggie messages Paul stating, "You okay? Getting little foot massage, then I'm headed home." 6:09, Paul messages mom stating, "Yeah." At 6:10, um, Maggie messages Paul stating, "Love you, and Blanca cooked you dinner." Okay,
Aw.
that's nice. A bunch of cell phone things that we'll go over at a different point in time. 6:17 to 7:30, that's the image up there. From 6:20, Maggie then receives an incoming phone call from her sister Marion. She rejected it. She's busy getting her feet rubbed. 6:21, Maggie then texts her that, "Sorry, can't talk, getting foot massage, we'll call you back." 6:23, Paul messages mom stating, "What did she make?" 6:23, Maggie says, "Country fried steak and mac and cheese." There we go. There's dinner for the night.
Ooh. But who eats mac and cheese with your country fried steak? It's supposed to be mashed potatoes with gravy and green beans on the side.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Or
think Paul
okra.
was doing yeah, I think Paul was doing odd jobs. I mean, he seemed
Yeah.
like for his uncle and everything. I just meant like he didn't have um
A
like
job.
a job. I don't even want to say that, but you know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean.
like he didn't go to work for a company. He didn't like have to go
Yeah, he
punch a
didn't have like
time clock.
like set hours or
Right.
whatever. So I don't think he did. Um So where was I? Then they have some system sets startups here. Startup. I don't really know what it was. But Alec apparently was in his car at 6:24. So there's that. 6:24. Then Paul calls Nolan. They talk for about 5 minutes and 50 seconds. 6:24. Alex Suburban leaves the law firm. Well, why the fuck did you
Why
call
was
it
he
earlier?
calling the law firm if he's there?
Maybe he was on his way there and then he stopped there. I don't know. For this timeline, I am not impressed. I'm just going to put that out there. Not impressed.
Wow.
I have to make a better one now. Great. Thanks, SLED. Now, 6:27, Paul Murdaugh messages Britt saying maybe Saturday. 6:33, Paul calls Robert Boyle.
You
6:38.
missed 625.
What?
Right under the picture, there was one more entry.
Oh, thank you. 6:25, Alec receives a phone call from Jay Parker. 858 seconds. Ooh, that's a long one. Is that the Parkers that are in the boat crash lawsuit? Those Parkers? Or is it law firm partner? It's probably law firm Parker. That's probably who that is. So after he leaves, he then calls him for a while. Okay. 6:27, Paul messages Britt. I already said that. Okay. And then at 6:38, Rogan calls Marianne Dempsey. This is this. Oh, that's Alec. All right. So apparently Alec is back at Moselle during this time. You volunteer as tribute? Go for it, girl. Go for it. I'll love you forever. Because this is leaves a lot to be desired, I
Yeah.
think. 6:40 p.m. Oh, that's showing the cast of where Alec is supposed to be from 6:40 to 9:10 p.m. Or at least where his phone is.
It's
Now 6:40, Paul calls Alec. They talk for 2 minutes and 29 seconds. 6:42, Alex Suburban shows device connection to iPhone. And then he arrives home at 41 at Moselle.
so
So that's when he gets back home.
back home.
Then at 6:43, Alec calls Maggie for 104 seconds. Maggie's iPhone shows a missed call from Alec. So I guess they didn't talk or they did talk. I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
looks like they didn't.
The mess. 6:44, Maggie receives a phone call from Alex, but not answered. Then his car is up again. I don't really know. We'll have to re-listen. 6:52, Alec calls Terry Brandsetter. They talk for 412 seconds. 6:53, Paul Murdaugh calls John. They talk for an hour and 52 seconds. All right, why don't you
I'll
pick
take
up?
7.
Okay, because I got to get more coffee.
7 o'clock. Paul Murdaugh sends a text message to Claude CB Rowe stating, "Are you coming tomorrow?" Then at 7 o'clock, 22 seconds, "Sunflowers died. We need to plow them under ASAP." Okay. 7:02, Maggie Murdaugh calls Alex. Shows it was answered and it was a 2-second call. Now, between 7:03 and 7:11 p.m., Alex Murdaugh's iPhone shows 165 steps traveled. 7:04, Paul Murdaugh at residence at Moselle Road. 7:04 to 8:17, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows a Bluetooth connection to her Mercedes. 7:04 to 8:17, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows that it was plugged in to charge. 7:05, Maggie Murdaugh calls Mary Ann, answered 7-second call. 7:04, Alex Murdaugh iMessages Maggie May, stating, "Paul said you were getting petty. Call when you done." Okay. 7:05, Maggie Murdaugh calls Paul Murdaugh. He answered. They talked for about 1 minute and 31 seconds. 7:05, Paul received that incoming call from his mom, and it was about 1 minute and 30 seconds long. So Maggie Murdaugh at 7:07 calls Mary Ann. It was a 3-second call. She's not in a hurry to call back Alex. Notice that? He texts her and says, "Call me." She hadn't called him. Then we've got some more pictures of where Maggie was. So it's showing the license plate reader sections. Okay. Then at 7:09, Maggie Murdaugh calls Courtney Shelbourne. It was a 3-second call that was answered. 7:09, Maggie Murdaugh calls mom. Call was answered. It was about 8 minutes and 17 seconds.
Oh, she hasn't even left Modesto yet, has she? Or she's on
There's
her way.
another car thing.
Okay.
Now at 7:14 to 7:22, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows 208 steps traveled. From 7:15 to 7:21, Alex Murdaugh's iPhone shows 200 steps traveled. 7:18, Maggie Murdaugh calls Barbara. She's answered 2-second call. 7:18, Alex Murdaugh texts Claude CB Rowe stating, "Call me, please." 7:21, Maggie Murdaugh accesses Find My iPhone. Who's she checking on? So 7:25 to 7:34, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows 139 steps traveled. 7:28 to 7:37, Alex Murdaugh's iPhone shows 47 steps. Okay, at 7:30, Maggie Murdaugh's phone location on Savannah Highway in Adams Run, South Carolina. Okay. 7:31, Maggie Murdaugh calls Marion, who answered, and they talk for about 7 minutes and 39 seconds. Between 7:35 and 7:41, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows 171 steps. He's not going to get 10,000 at that rate.
How many steps is that? Like, what's the distance on that? I don't understand.
I don't know.
I don't track my steps because I don't want my phone yelling at me and making me feel bad. So,
Yeah, I don't know because everybody has different strides, so I don't know what the general is. But okay, at 7:37, Paul Murdaugh receives a Snapchat message from Michelle Beck stating, "Because I have short-term memory loss." Okay. 7:38, Paul Murdaugh receives an iMessage from Megan Kimbrell stating, "Paul."
how?
7:39, Rogan Gibson calls Marianne Dempsey. They talked for 73 seconds. 7:39, Maggie calls Barbara. Barbara did not answer. Okay, at 7:39, thumbnail picture created in Paul Murdaugh's iPhone in a database related to a Snapchat video.
Okay, so that was the tree video that we're talking
Yes,
about that they
yeah.
showed in the trial. Okay.
Okay, at 7:39, Paul Murdaugh at residence on Moselle Road. 7:41 to 7:48, Alex Murdaugh's iPhone shows 29 steps traveled. 7:43, Rogan Gibson calls Marianne Dempsey, 43-second phone call. Then we've got Paul Murdaugh's phone on Moselle, at Moselle, it looks like. 7:45 to 7:55, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows 89 steps traveled. Then we got another picture of Maggie's phone.
Sorry.
Okay, at 7:50, oh, that was the above picture. 7:50, Maggie Murdaugh calls Barbara. Says it was answered, but it was an 8-second call. 7:52, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows 7% battery life.
Charge your phone, Paul.
Charge your phone, Paul. 7:54 to 8:05, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows 262 steps traveled. Now, during that same time frame, 7:55 to 8:05, Alex Murdaugh's iPhone shows 270 steps traveled. Okay, 7:55, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows 6% battery life.
See, those phones
Charge.
always be harassing you, judging you, everything.
That's right. Now, 7:56, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone is at the caretaker's house on Moselle Road. 7:56, Snapchat video of Alex Murdaugh on Paul Murdaugh's Snapchat account. Okay.
Okay. Oops, sorry.
Now, at 7:56, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone is saying, "Dude, plug me in 5%."
Why is it draining so quickly? Because that's not really that much time to be.
Mine, once you get down to 10%, mine goes quick.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mine does. 7:57, Paul Murdaugh receives a Snapchat message from Brian Murdaugh stating, "Damn, man, need some straps it?" I'm assuming straps on it
Probably for the tree.
for the tree, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 8:00, they're showing us Paul's locations, and I'm guessing that's the walk from his cell phone that just keeps showing all those steps. That's true. Kelly, he could have a lot of apps open
Oh, yeah.
because
That
I
is
usually have a
true.
lot open.
Yeah.
So
Good
at
point, Kel.
8:01, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone is at the caretaker's house. I'm hoping he would charge it. So then more of where Paul is. 8:05 to 8:09, Alex Murdaugh's iPhone shows 54 steps. 8:05 to 8:15, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows 303 steps.
Okay.
More pictures. 8:07, Paul Murdaugh sends a Snapchat to several people. It doesn't say what they said. It just shows their name. So must have shared something.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Oh,
8:11 to
on camera. I had this covered up.
8:11 to 8:31, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows device locked.
Okay.
Okay. Then another picture of where Paul is. So at 8:15 to 8:21, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows 140 steps. 8:19, Paul is at the residence on Moselle Road. 8:17, Maggie Murdaugh's phone ends connection to her car. Phone is unplugged.
So she's
Eight-
arriving. She's there. She's
Right,
at
she's riding
Moselle,
there.
I'm assuming.
At 8:17, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows 4% battery life. That would have that I would have so much anxiety. I would be flipping out. So 8:17 to 8:18, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows 38 steps taken. At 8:19, Paul Murdaugh's connects to Wi-Fi, PRTC, and some numbers. At 8:19, Paul Murdaugh receives a Snapchat message from Ansley Wilson stating, "He's got the magic touch." Okay. 8:23, Paul Murdaugh sends outgoing Snapchat messages to Marlene Robinson saying, "He's hurt." Okay. At 8:24, Paul Murdaugh sends an iMessage to Megan Kimbrell stating, "Megan." Who texts a person and just says their name? Because Llama, if you ever just text me and say my name, I'm going to just look at it and say, okay.
Why are you naming me?
Why you, yeah.
Why are you
So then
government naming me? Gosh.
at 8:28, Paul Murdaugh receives an iMessage from Megan Kimbrell stating, "Were you avoiding me?" 8:28, Paul Murdaugh responds to Megan stating, "When?" Then a few seconds later, Paul Murdaugh receives an iMessage from Mrs. Morgan stating, "I have not received anything back yet. Did you get the lease email?" 8:29, Paul Murdaugh receives an iMessage from Megan Kimbrell stating, "You didn't send me any movie recommendations."
Mm. Isn't Megan the girl he was like flirting with, or they were supposed to go on a date or something? Or were they just friends? I
I
don't
thought they
know.
were just friends, but I don't know.
Maybe.
So 8:29, Paul Murdaugh responds to Megan stating, "Ha ha, I didn't have a good one," along with Will's might. At 8:30, Paul Murdaugh receives an iMessage from Megan stating, "OMG." At 8:30 to 8:33, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows 43 steps. I mean, 3 minutes to go 43 steps?
Yeah, that seems like it takes too long,
I
but
know, I'm like,
okay.
were you just standing there talking, maybe walking real slow? Because, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
8:31, Alex
Very
and Maggie receive a group message from John Marvin Murdaugh stating, "I plan to go over to visit Dad tomorrow afternoon. Is anyone else planning to go?" So send it to that chat. At 8:31, Maggie Murdaugh's phone unlocks and orientation changes to landscape completed. And it shows a message from Lynn G that was read at that time. Where's the message?
Yeah, what's the message? I wanna know.
Yeah.
Or is it
8:30.
the group message? No. No, 'cause that says it's from John, so
Yeah. So
okay.
8:31 to 8:49, Maggie's phone shows device locked. Uh-oh, what did he do?
Calling me.
Oh. 8:31, Lynn Gott responds with, I'm in court all week. And I don't know what that emoji face is, but like a
Meh. That's a
meh.
Or Llama's emoji school.
8:32, Paul receives an incoming call from Lucille Boyle, and he rejects it. Now, 8:32 to 8:42, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows 283 steps traveled. Then we have a picture.
Which is Paul's iPhone
Yeah.
location. Okay.
So 8:38. Oh my God, Paul, you're killing me. iPhone shows battery 3%. I'm stressed for him.
Well,
At
that's the least problematic thing that's about to happen.
I know, but oh
January.
my jeez. 8:40 p.m., Paul Murdaugh calls Rogan Gibson, who answered. They talked for about 4 minutes and 14 seconds.
How's his phone not dead at that point?
I know, I'm like,
Okay.
how's it not dead now? 8:41, Paul Murdaugh receives a Snapchat from M. Robinson. 8:43, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone shows 2% battery life. 8:44, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone screen is on. 8:44, 20 seconds later, screen was off. 8:44, Paul Murdaugh initiates a FaceTime video call with Rogan Gibson. It was 11 seconds long. How is your phone not dead, dude?
I don't know. It's impressive.
Now, at 8:44 and 55 seconds, video extracted through Paul's phone at the kennels also has Alex in the background talking along with Maggie. 8:45, Paul Murdaugh at incident location through location service on iPhone. 8:47, Paul Murdaugh sends an iMessage to Megan Kimbrell stating, "Ha, kidding." 8:48, Paul Murdaugh sends an iMessage to Megan Kimbrell stating, "Star Was Born is the movie." Great movie.
Okay. How's his phone not dead? That's wild.
I know, I'm like, I don't know. 8:48, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone display on. Then 29 seconds later, his iPhone is unlocked. Then a few seconds later, at 8:48 and 29 seconds, Paul Murdaugh receives an iMessage from Megan Kimbrell stating, "No, I need something happy," along with, "Don't like watching sad movies." 8:48 to 8:49, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone backlight is on. That same time, Paul Murdaugh's phone was unlocked. Next activity for the notification of SMS from Rogan Gibson at 9:58 stating, "Yo." 8:49 to 10:18, Paul Murdaugh's iPhone backlight is off. That 8:49 to 10:34, Paul Murdaugh's phone device is locked. 8:49 and 20 seconds, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone screen on and unlocked. 8:49 and 26 seconds, Maggie Murdaugh's phone unlocks for a text message notification and implements orientation change to landscape. I'm trying to read the little note on the side. Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows device locked this whole time. Okay. Where are we at? Okay, 8:49 and 28 seconds. Maggie Murdaugh's phone accesses an application and implements orientation change to landscape. Then just a few seconds between 8:49 and 1:10 p.m. Help me out there. 8:49 p.m. to 1:10 p.m.
The next day, yeah. Because
Okay.
remember her phone
Oh, that's right. It
was
was thrown on
taken
the
and
side of
then
the road. Yeah.
yeah.
Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone is locked.
Because at this
8:40.
point they've already have been
Right.
shot.
Shut. 8:49 and 35 seconds.
Well,
Rogan
they believe.
Gibson sends iMessage to Paul Murdaugh stating, "See if you can get a good picture of it. Marianne wants to send it to a girl we know that's a vet. Tell him to sit and stay, and he shouldn't move around too much."
He's referring to one of the dogs at the
To the
kennel.
dogs, yeah.
Mhm.
So then 8:53 to 8:55, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone shows 59 steps traveled. And at 8:53 and 8 seconds, Maggie's phone was vertical orientation. Then at 8:53 and 12 seconds, it was sideways orientation.
Very cool. Who
Okay.
ever checks stuff on a phone sideways? Who does that? There's a lot of that. What is that about?
My
Okay.
husband.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
why, but he does. 8:53 to 8:55, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone, 2 minutes and 29 seconds activity. Then at 8:54 and 40 seconds, vertical orientation. 8:55, Maggie Murdaugh's phone was sideways orientation, and then just 30 seconds later, it went vertical again.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
What was the activity duration again? This part, I don't remember. Is it considered if your phone dies, is it considered locked? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think
I
so,
don't know.
but I don't know. I imagine the phone would say system off and then
I would think,
I don't yeah, I would think, but I don't know. It's a good question.
but I don't know what that activity duration is, unless it's that
Yeah, I
59
forget.
steps they mentioned above.
Mm, I don't know. Maybe. No. Oh, could be because it actually does say that it's the same exact time. So
Ah,
maybe that is what you're referring to, maybe?
yeah.
Because yeah, this all shows 59 steps. Okay.
Yeah. So at 8:55 and 48 seconds, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone took a snapshot of an open app, Facebook, running in the background. And then it says iPhone will take random snapshots of accesses that are open when you change apps or swipe up for the home screen. The time does not reflect when the app was changed, only when the phone takes the photo. So my phone
Why
just
does your phone do that?
randomly takes snapshots.
I guess. It's weird. It's the first time they brought this up, but okay.
8:55 to 9:03, Maggie Murdaugh's iPhone backlight is off. Do you want to take 9 or you want me to keep going?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I'll go ahead. So at 9:02, Nick Godley calls Rogan Gibson for 43 seconds. 9:02 to 9:06, Alex phone shows 283 steps traveled. Then uh his car starts up at 90 oh no wait, that's not right. Mm, I think that's still 9:03 is when it starts up there.
Yeah.
At 9:03, Paul receives a call from Mariana Dempsey. Then at 9:03 to 9:04, Maggie's phone, the backlight's on because of a notification of a call. Because Alec at 9:04 calls Maggie, 18 seconds. Missed call on Maggie's phone, 9:04. Maggie's iPhone, the backlight is off. 9:05, Alec calls Randolph Murdaugh, 18 seconds. Is that his dad?
Yeah,
Or
in
is
the
it
hospital
Randy?
maybe.
Oh, no,
But
I think it's brother Randy. Or I don't know. Is it his mom's house maybe? I don't know. Um 9:05, Maggie's iPhone backlight is on. Now here at what is that? 9:05, the car starts up again, I guess. All right. 9:06, Maggie's iPhone implements orientation change to portrait. 9:06:14, incoming call from Alex on Maggie's iPhone. 9:06:15, Alex calls Maggie again. At 9:06, Maggie's phone has a sideways orientation. 9:06, let's see, the vehicle is not parked? I don't understand the difference here between
I
these,
don't
but
know
okay.
either.
At 9:06, Alec then calls Maggie again. 9:06, Alex Suburban shows drive connection to iPhone, shows 3 connections second apart to the same iPhone. 9:07, Maggie's iPhone backlight off. 9:07, Alex Suburban leaves the property. So, okay.
Maggie's
And that's where
phone.
Maggie's phone is, which isn't too terribly far from the house, if I remember right. Then, okay, so that's where that was. At 9:08, Alec then messages Maggie, going to check on him, be right back, which I'll admit is a very weird thing to say. 9:08, Maggie's iPhone shows activity associated with an incoming text from Alec. 9:10, Alec calls Buster, 60 a minute long.
I have to
9
ask, why is that weird? Going to check on him, be right back?
because we don't know what that's in context to. So I think that it stands out a little bit.
Oh, I just thought
Like who's
maybe
who's
M was
them? And
something he called his mom. Maybe
I don't think so.
because he was going to see her. And the reason I say that is because I just got a text from Double H saying he's going to check on his mom and he'll be back.
Which it could be what he's talking to, but there wasn't
Yeah,
any other messages before that. So I mean, that
that
is
is
what kind
weird.
of makes it
Yeah,
weirdly
stand out.
suspicious. But now Maggie's extraction shows that the message was unread. So 9:08, Maggie's phone shows activity associated with the incoming text from Alex. 9:10, Alec calls Buster. 9:10, Rogan calls Paul. 9:12, Alex calls Chris Wilson. Um, then some more stuff. This is their drive data, I guess. We'll go over all that later. 9:18, Alec calls John Marvin, his brother, for 106 seconds. Doop, doop. At 9:20, Chris Wilson calls Alec for 131 seconds. Claude Rowe also calls Alex at 8:21 while on the phone with Chris Wilson. I guess he's parked by now. I don't know. Uh, I'm pretty sure true means it's parked and false means it's not parked or
That's
something.
what I was thinking, but
I don't remember. 9:22, it shows his car, uh, device connection to the iPhone. 9:22, Alex Suburban arrives at Alameda. So that's at his mom's house. Then at 9:22, Alex's iPhone shows 195 steps taken. Alex then calls Libby at 9:24, his mom's number. 9:29, Rogan calls Paul, but no answer. 9:31, Maggie's phone light. At 9:31, Maggie's iPhone, the backlight is on, and then it's off. Okay. Then at 9:32, it looks like the car has started again, I guess. 9:30, her backlight turns on, and then from 9:33 to 9:34, it turns off. Does it turn on and off when you're getting calls and messages? Because I haven't seen one happening enough for it to come back on
I have
like that.
mine where it doesn't do that.
Okay. Of course, it could be like notifications for other apps,
Right.
probably, right?
But like my
That could have,
backlight doesn't come on unless I pick up my phone and turn it on.
yeah. Okay. 9:34, Rogan sends an iMessage to Maggie stating, "Tell Paul to call me." At 9:34, Maggie's backlight turns on, the notification from a call. 9:34 to 9:36, it just says backlight. 9:35 to 9:45, Alex iPhone shows 60 steps traveled. 9:36, Maggie's iPhone backlight turns on. Then from 9:36 to 9:43, the backlight's off. Then he starts up his car again at 9:41, I guess, and then takes off from there. I don't know. 9:42, Roger calls Paul. 9:42, Alex Suburban shows device connection. Okay, so yeah, so he is back in the car. And at 9:43, he leaves from Almeida. 9:43, Maggie's light comes back on. He's driving from 9:44 to 9:45. Her backlight's off. 9:45, Maggie's iPhone, it turns on a notification of a call. You know, they're not saying about calls, but okay. 9:45, Maggie received a phone call from Alec. 9:45, Maggie's phone turns off for 2 minutes. Then 9:46, Alec calls Paul. 9:47, Alec messages Maggie, "Call me, babe."
Wait a
9:47.
minute. You've been ignoring her all day, though. And now all of a sudden tonight you can't get in touch with her. I mean, just saying.
Doesn't an iPhone take a pic during the face unlock? At least activates the front-facing camera? I don't know. It's a good question. We don't have iPhones, so well, if he has a work iPhone, but probably, I guess. Let's see. Where I don't know. We got a bunch of on and offs for Maggie's back screens
Yeah.
there for a little while, for about 15 minutes. It just keeps going on and off. So that's kind of weird. More little chart things I will get into a different time. 9:52, Alec Murdaugh's iMessage Chris Wilson stating, "Call me if you up." 9:52, Alec receives a phone call from Chris. They talk for 42 seconds. 9:53, Alec receives another call from Chris, 123 seconds. At 9:56 to 10:06, Alex Murdaugh's phone shows 231 steps traveled. Now at 9:07, Roger Gibson calls Paul. 9:58, he messages Paul stating, "Yo." Here around 10 is a lot of the car turning
Park.
on and off, apparently. Or park, I mean. Park and unpark. Sorry, not on and off. He arrives at 10 o'clock to Moselle. Alec does. At 10:01, Alex Suburban shows device connection to iPhone. These are out of order. Damn it. 10 o'clock, Maggie's iPhone backlight's on, then off, then on at 10:03. And then at 10:03, Alec calls Maggie. 10:04 to 10:46, Maggie's phone shows gap in activity. Okay,
For 44 minutes?
that's weird because we just
42 minutes?
tracked our phone going on and off every single second for like 20 minutes, but okay. Then he's in his car, but it's not parked. At 10:05, Roger calls Buster. Rogan, I'm sorry, not Roger. Rogan calls Buster. 10:05, Alex Suburban leaves the main house. Then his phone connects to this car. 10:05, his Suburban arrives at the kennels. And then at 10:06 to 10:16, Alex's phone shows 594 steps taken. 10:06 is the 911 call by Alec for 637 seconds. And I think that's where we should pause for today,
For today.
because that's really going to line up with the call that we're going to listen to and the body cam and all of that. So I think that's a really good place to put a pin in it. Let me make a note here on our
Put a pin in
which
it.
page. Put a pin in it. Stopped at.
Mary says no.
I
Okay,
know,
fine.
but I have to like
She's
take
got
my
life.
son to his high school orientation today. And I gotta get ready for that because I gotta look like a presentable human being. I can't go in just only half looking good. I probably can, but that's probably not a good look. So I got to get ready. Plus, make sure he's ready. But yeah, I think that's a good place to stop for now. So I really need, I need I need better graphs. I need a demonstrative video
So I
of
did
things
find
popping up where.
594 steps. Average is 0.25 miles and would take 5 to 6 minutes of continuous walking.
Okay.
Didn't really help me any.
Mm-mm. No, but you'd probably be walking for 5 minutes. I feel that's
Yeah.
more helpful than distance because I don't think it tracks the distance, right? So, like, you could be walking in circles. You could be pacing back and forth like
Right.
Elbow Feet does 100 times a day. I swear he gets like 10,000 steps in by like 10 in the morning.
Oh, just by
Uh,
pacing.
or if he's on the phone, yeah. So it could be numerous different things. But like I said, I'm very interested to hear hopefully the text, all the phone data and the car data stuff explained in a little bit more comprehensive way. Um,
Now, I'm trying to remember if they ever told us if Alex and Maggie's phones were together when her
I,
phone was locked, when he wasn't supposed to, when he was driving back from his mom's.
mhm.
Where was Maggie's phone?
Well, when he was driving back, so the theory is, the state's theory is that he shoots and kills Maggie and Paul, takes
Right?
her phone, decides
Mhm.
he's going to go visit his mom, and on his way there, throws it out the window, which doesn't make a whole lot of
I was like, say,
sense.
that doesn't make sense with the time.
It doesn't. And not just the time, but on the side of the road that it's found. Because I believe it's like, you're driving like we got 2 lanes. This way's
Mhm.
Alex going, and then this one's back towards Moselle. I think that the phone is found on the other side of where he's
Well, if you
driving, right?
throw it over
So,
your car, you could do it.
well, there's the whole we're definitely gonna watch the phone throwing testimony, um, which, for me, it lost a lot of points with the
Right?
prosecution
That's
because I do have a problem with the phone throwing theory. But again, we'll see what information comes out because it didn't really make a lot of sense to me how that could all occur. I have a lot of questions about the traveling back and forth. Now,
right.
he did travel back and forth.
Mhm.
Why? Is it because he just committed murder, or
Murder.
was he running away because he saw murder happening? I don't know. But there are a few discrepancies, and there I'm like, I don't know, because they also talk about how like fast he's going, but
Mhm.
like these are dark ass country roads. Like you don't drive that fast usually through them. It'd be rather dangerous, but then again, you can have adrenaline going
Right.
through you. So, while normally one would not drive that fast on a country road like that, right? Because deer and apparently wild pigs y'all got there, and
Now,
you
some
know
people do and they shouldn't.
that's true. But specifically at night, like
Yeah.
it's kind of really stupid to do, but I don't know. So you walk 10 to 20 miles at work every day. um,
That's how you stay so fit.
Oh, you drive fast down there at nighttime? I don't. I'm
Yeah.
from the
I'm like,
country. I
I
can't.
do. I drive fast, but
Not at nighttime. It's too
I do at night.
creepy. Do you have a bunch of like maybe it's because we have cornfields.
Oh, yeah, we don't have
So depending
cornfields.
what
We
time
just
of
have to watch
year,
out for the deer.
yeah, depending what time of year, like you can't see like lights coming from a
Right.
distance, right?
Yeah, we
Like you
don't
can
have
in it just depends on what month.
that. Yeah, we
So
don't have any of that.
yeah, but how many people in your area die from car accidents? Because mine is pretty high.
Mine's pretty high.
From country roads and people driving like assholes.
Yeah.
So it always cracks me up because I'm just like, y'all live a place where nobody is, and y'all are so impatient to get anywhere.
Sometimes it's
But
just fun to drive fast on the curvy roads.
it is, but not always smart. So, so we'll be back Monday. to continue with this. And like I said, we're going to listen to the 911 calls from like right at this point in the timeline. We're going to watch some of the body cams from the officers from that night. And I believe there's maybe one or two interviews that Alec does in the cop car or their SUV, whatever you want to
It's
call it,
yeah.
their vehicle. There's either one or two. I can't remember if it's he talks to the cops quite a few times. But I know there's one for sure, and that's what we'll cover next
On
Monday.
Yes.
So, with that, how are we going to wrap up and get out of here?
Well,
Who wants to go for me?
I will be back tonight with Dearest Mother's Darkest Secrets at 9 o'clock Eastern.
Nice. Nice. And I'll be back at 10 a.m. For more BAM police body cam videos for tomorrow. So, and then Karen reads stuff in the afternoon.
Busy week.
Busy week indeed. So,
Busy week. Wow. Just remember, it's free to be kind, guys, and stay safe and hydrate. Drink your water today. No
that's
wine.
right. All right. Until next time, my friends, go forth and be amazing. All right.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.